Alrighty, so now you got that fretting hand working. Now we're ready to start looking at some chords and some basic chord technique. Okay? So again, a chord is, say it with me, 3 or more notes played at the same time, right? Right. So what this requires is for us to place our hands on the fretboard and then strum a certain number of strings. Okay? So this is where that curled knuckle and that technique, those basic fretting techniques that we talked about, are really going to start coming in handy. Okay? So let's just jump into this first chord. What I want you to do is I want you to take the second and third fingers. This is the E minor that we're going to be playing. I want you to put the second finger on the second fret of the 5th string, or the A string. Okay? And I want you to take the third finger and put it on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, or the D. Okay? Should look like that. Okay? Both those top knuckles should be curled so that all the strings can sound out. If it's like this, we might get a sound like this. Okay? We don't want that. We want those knuckles curled, and we want this kind of sound. Okay? So, again, fingertips, and when we're playing the chords, here's the basic chord technique, is you want to take the pick and allow it to just, like you're raking leaves, you know. When you're raking, you don't drive the rake into the ground, you go lightly because you just want to get the leaves off of the top, right? So in the same way, you want to think about that with the pick. You want to just kind of let it slowly go across the strings like that. We're building right hand technique and left hand technique at the same time. Okay. Okay, so why are we picking this slowly is so that we can hear if there's a problem. Let's say I've got a pretty good feel of this chord here, got my knuckles curled, and I do this. Well, that sounds like what I just played, right? Yeah, kind of, but if I pick it slowly here, listen. So that note is being muted. We don't want that, okay? So the only way I would know that is from playing it slowly, because this sounds fine, but we won't hear it unless we arpeggiate the chord. Remember, arpeggiating is, or an arpeggio is when we break the chord up into its individual notes, okay? So that's what we're doing by doing this slowly. And now we can evaluate if, or first we can decipher if all the notes are being played, which they are. But if they're not, we can say, what string is that? Stop on the string, follow it down. You can see it vibrating as you're picking. Follow it down, and then go, well, why isn't it sounding? Okay, well, it looks like my knuckle isn't curled enough, so I'm going to curl my knuckle, and now I remedied the problem. And what happens is every time you do something like that, your brain takes a little note, hey, curl that knuckle, or do whatever little adjustment you need to do, and then eventually you'll just grab onto that chord without thinking about it, okay? Everybody has issues with chords at first, but through this repetition and through playing it correctly, you're going to build a great chord technique, all right?